Hey guys, it's John here coming to you with a Disney Store Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs review. Here I have for you today, the Prince. So let's jump right in and have a closer look at his packaging. Packaging wise, the Prince comes in a blue window plastic sleek box with a cardboard backing which shows a very faint image of the woods. Of course, we have the Disney Store logo at the top corner and his name at the bottom in a crowned heart, surrounded by bronze gold filigree swirls with blue and white gems outlining the border of the packaging itself, which also has little sparkle, circle and heart decals all over. The back of the packaging displays the Disney Princess logo, a very faint background image of the woods with Snow White's castle in the distance, and the Disney Store The Prince classic doll himself. So now let's jump right in and have a closer look at the very first Disney Prince himself. So here we have the Prince right out of packaging, looking as handsome as ever in his signature blue, white, brown and red royal getup. Face-wise, the Prince looks as dashing as ever with his chisel tan face, blue dreamy eyes which are side-glancing to the right in Disney Store tradition, and knowing smirk. This year, all Disney princes got a major makeover, now rocking their new head sculpts and paint first seen in the limited edition Disney Fairy Tale Designer Collection. The Prince here definitely has benefited from this, now appearing to have a lot more detail and life in him, though I will say this is at a loss of a closer depiction of the character's original likeness himself, now appearing more modern but gorgeous nonetheless. As for hair, the Prince has a short, naturally styled dark brown do, which is beautifully detailed with sculpted strands all around his head, with his fringe piece covering the right side of his forehead much like the original design, strands on the sides of his head following the flow around his ears, and the back strands layering over each other quite realistically. Moving down to clothing, the Prince is donning his signature royal getup, which consists of a dark blue tunic with caramel gold detailing, white billowing sleeves and collar, a brown leather-like belt with gold buckle, blue pants, chocolate brown boots, and of course his large blood red cape. Overall, the outfit is a nice representation of the iconic look as a whole, with some slight simplified aspects and little missing details that I would have liked to see included, though I don't find myself really missing them that much since I'm pretty satisfied with this simple look. The basic look itself stays true to the silhouette of the original with main elements present. My personal favourite aspects are definitely the billowing sleeves and large cape, which have always stood out compared to other Disney princes, giving the Prince himself a more dated old-timey look and feel. Though I would have loved to see a removable cape, which unfortunately this does not allow since it's sewn on to the shoulders of his tunic piece itself. Man, I love me a good cape. Colours on the clothing seem to have moved closer to the movie version, with darker shades of blue and brown being used for the Prince's pants and boots, which is a plus. Speaking about the boots, the details in the sculpt and use of two tones of paint now is a happy welcome, which though is a little change, upgrades the doll's overall appearance tenfold. Comparison wise, standing next to the Disney Store The Prince 2010 classic doll, the Prince 2015 classic doll looks like a completely different character, with his new Disney Fairy Tale Designer Collection head sculpt, paint and overall body colour, now being extremely tan, making the 2010 version look like a ghost. Of course though, these two dolls as well share similarities with the basic Disney Store male body, which has been used ever since 2010, and they're close to identical clothing with ever so slight changes, which include altered colours now appearing more dark and changes on a few pieces of his outfit, such as his blue tunic now being slight darker blue, his leather-like belt now appearing to be a lot thinner and a darker shade of brown, his pants being as well a darker shade of blue. His shoes now have a new sculpt with wrinkle details, a small heel and the opening slit being at the back rather than on the sides, as well as being a darker shade of brown with a light brown overlay of paint which gives off the older worn look. And lastly, the Prince's cape as well seems to look the tiniest bit darker now. All in all, from the first moment I saw the Disney Fairy Tale Designer Collection new head sculpts, I knew it was love at first sight. The new The Prince 2015 classic doll is looking as handsome as ever, with brilliant detail in his head sculpt and closer movie accurate clothing, while I always thought the Prince 2010 classic doll always felt a little lifeless due to his face. Now being able to compare the new and old versions though, I find a tiny part of me is missing the closer movie likeness of the 2010 Prince in the new 2015 Prince doll. Both dolls feel like separate characters rather than one, which makes it difficult to pinpoint which one truly stands on top of the other. What I will say though is that both are definitely awesome in their own unique way. Articulation wise, the prince here can rotate his head completely 360, his arms as well can be rotated completely 360, though that is limited due to his outfit. His arms can be pushed up, he has a bend in the elbow slightly under 90 degrees, his legs can be pushed forward, back, he can do the splits, though that again is limited due to his outfit, and lastly he has the rubber click knees that can be clicked a few times. Overall, I am extremely happy with the Disney Store The Prince. He has brilliant aesthetics which with detail in the head sculpt alone outshines his previous dolls and makes up for the fact that there isn't any huge changes in his outfit. Articulation though is unfortunately a letdown, continuing to be very limited, especially in his legs, prohibiting him from getting into any dynamic poses or basic ones at that without looking like a robot. All in all, I feel that if you really like movie accurate dolls, the head sculpt of the 2010 Prince has you covered. Even though he doesn't look all that great compared to this updated version, he does appear to resemble the original movie design a lot closer. If you want a more handsome, fresh, modern looking doll with slightly more colour accurate clothing pieces though, this is the doll for you. I highly recommend the Disney Store The Prince for any The Prince, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, or Disney Prince enthusiasts in general. And until next time, I will see you guys soon. Bye.